What's up, everybody? Sawtooth Dave here. I'm gonna try to make this one quick. I got a lot of paperwork to do and stuff, so I just gotta basically recap yesterday, which was a knife meetup, that sort of thing. Talk about a few things. So last week we talked about this Sawtooth possibly being for sale, and two people actually hit me up being interested in it, but neither one of them had Instagram. And I'm not really a business. I'm just trying to hook everybody up that wants to be hooked up. So I'm not gonna mess around trying to make a email just specifically in case I want to sell a Sawtooth. So if you guys want to start Instagram and message me over there, or if someone's interested in a Sawtooth, you can message me over there. Other than that, I'm not gonna say anything else about it. But I think Aaron's gonna send me his Sawtooth. I'm gonna build that 20 CV blade for him and send it back to him, and I'll keep the S30V blade in case I want to turn this into a G10 S30V. I think y'all understand it. Okay. So let's briefly talk about this meetup that happened yesterday. So we had done it. It's at Cue Ball's house, and we had done it before a few months back, before a blade show. I hadn't made another video about it. It's really cool. The very first time was nobody knew what to expect. Didn't even really know each other that well, so it was completely all new. This time we kind of knew what was going to happen, or had a pretty good idea how it was going to go down. Well, absolutely a blast hanging with those guys. Total fun. We got 3 new guys that came in. So Eric, Kyle, and Jason, they were all really cool dudes. It was kind of what I expected more this time, so it wasn't as much of a sensory overload as it was the time before. Those 3 guys probably got a sensory overload because I don't know if they've ever been in a situation like that before. There's a ton of knives, man. You can get really lost in how many knives there are, but everybody got along great. We all had fun. Cue Ball cooked out. It was a badass meetup. It was an awesome time hanging out with a lot of cool people. And then we jumped on Stevie's live, and I try to watch it back, and it's a train wreck because of what was coming through from the from the knife meetup. So we got to figure out how to mute that shit next time we try to do it live, because it was absolutely horrible to watch. So you guys that actually watch Stevie's live, feel bad for you, man. But we were just trying to spread some knife love to everybody, but it didn't really come off that way. It kind of come off more confusing than anything else. But Cue Ball was able to do his 500 giveaway there, which was cool. We were able to kind of sit around and bullshit and while he was doing it, that sort of thing. It was fun. Got a little weird with people talking shit. I don't know what the fuck it ended up being. It just, I guess, poking fun. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it got weird, man. If you guys know me in person, I'll joke around with you and everything like that, and I don't give a fuck. You can fuck with me, I can fuck with you, like whatever. I ain't got a problem with that. It just got weird for me, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. It just got weird. I did get my ADV back from Matisfaction, and he borrowed a Sawtooth, so I got this guy back. I let him borrow that full tie Stonewash Sawtooth, the one that Neves and Lefty both did their videos on. So I let him have it for a few months, let him check it out. So it's cool to get this guy back. I forgot how cool I like this, or how much I like this knife. I'm talking with the headphones today, kind of like Tyler, Everyday EDC. He does this headphone things, and the voice, I notice a lot of my videos, I turn on, my voice changes, so I'm trying to do it with the headphones to see if it sounds better. Y'all let me know if you give a shit or not. But I think I bragged several times on this Chupacabra, how much I like this knife. This 4-inch version is definitely a badass knife. It's cool as hell. I dig the shit out of this knife. You can see it in action. It's pretty nasty. So one popped up on Reddit, and now I've already changed this one, so I'll explain the changes in a second. But it was bronzed and Timascus highlights. So the pivot collar, back spacer, and pocket clip were all Timascus. It's just not my style, but it was finished in like a bark pattern, which I thought was cool. So here's what it looks like now. It's the same bark pattern in there, and I just blasted it's kind of like a yellow. You wouldn't really bronze. It wasn't like a chocolate or something like that. It was just a bronzy, so it wasn't really my flavor. But the pivot collar, I blasted it, so you can see the bark, and then you can see what's flat gray. That's the Timascus stuff from both sides. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to use this other light here too to try to make my production quality. Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to halfway give a shit. Okay, you might see a little bit of like the rings and stuff that used to be the Timascus. But anyway, I had a blasted thing. It came to me out of center, a lot of lock stick. It's still centered now. I redid it, retuned it a little bit. The thumb stud was a single thumb stud when I got it. It was only on Yeah, that side. And it wasn't really one that, to me, went with the knife. And these go much better. And these are actually off a Cold Steel Formax, the American-made Formax that I had. So I just swapped them things over. I'll probably end up making, these are stainless, I believe. I'll probably make some titanium ones. I'd started doing it at the machine shop on Thursday, making some titanium thumb studs for this. And I had one made. I was over there at the Deburg wheel. I looked up for a second, looked back down, it was gone. So you can imagine something that size in a machine shop, they don't take long to lose it, especially when it's bright, shiny, looking like aluminum like everything else is. But so this is a 3.5-inch version instead of the 4-inch version, and it's a pretty cool knife. This one's a Nitro V. The other one I have is a Magna Cut, so the steel is not as good. Or I say not as good, but relatively speaking, like Magna Cut's a little more premium steel. Not that it really makes a fuck, but I mentioned it anyhow. But it's a cool knife. It's still got some little work to do on it, but I figured I'd introduce this one. This was the cool one I picked up earlier this week. And also, like I said, I bought it last week, but I got it this week. Plethora Blades, you heard me mention him before. He's been having a knife sale. He's kind of getting out of the knife game. I guess he said he's going to drop in some videos and that sort of thing, but, he's, I guess from what I gathered with talking with him a little bit, is that, it's all-encompassing. It kind of involved more of his time than he was willing to give or wanting to give, so he kind of backed off the knife thing, because some of us, once you get in there, it's hard to kind of get your mind out of the knives. Like knives, everything kind of focuses back towards knives. I know me personally, when Saturday morning before I went to the meetup, I was supposed to work with Darcy, and she's like, "You're totally not thinking about anything but knives. Just go." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll just go. That's fine." So I got out of work. Not necessarily the best way of doing it, but I got out of work to go to the knife meetup because she knew I wasn't focused on anything but knives. But anyway, if you're always that way, it can become a little bit less or more unhealthy, I guess. So, we all have that threshold where, we feel comfortable in it. But anyway, long story, long rant. What the fuck I'm talking about? Y'all know. I just like to ramble. But Plethora Blades sold me a Trouble Blade Works Mofo. Now, I've had the debt collector before. The old debt collector, probably, I'm just going to guess 2013, 14-ish, maybe somewhere in there. I'm guessing. I don't really know for sure. Now, this knife was, when I say crude, I mean crude in the best way. Like, it's definitely handmade, milled on probably it definitely wasn't CNC. There's no part of it was CNC. And I'm just going from memory as to, but I remember the blade was really obtuse. Like, the grinds were like more of what you would see on an outdoor fixed blade. This one in particular, the debt collector in particular, were probably more like, I would say, on a chopper style knife, almost more axe kind of ground than really a knife. So it wasn't the most practical as far as like using it for, not that my knives are super practical for most people, but it wasn't the most practical for, let's say, everyday tasks. It was really good at the chopping thing, but, a knife that size, you're almost, well, I ain't gonna say almost, you're probably better off with a fixed blade. But everybody had different circumstances. But so anyway, that's kind of what I expected, was that style of build quality. Well, what I got was completely different. And I'm just gonna say this in the nicest possible way that I can probably put this. If the same dude machined the old debt collector I had, machined this, he's become a real good machinist. That's the best way I could put it. Okay. And I don't know whether he did or didn't, or whether he was already good at CNC and only had access to a manual mill before and was doing the best he can. I have none of that facts. I haven't talked to the dude. I don't know him at all. Tim something. This is a Canadian company. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. But this is the Mofo. I'll quit talking about it. You've probably seen him on Plethora Blades channel if you've watched his stuff at all. This was his favorite knife. This one is what the hell steel was it? Oh, Crewware. That's right. This one's in Crewware. And this looks black. In his videos, I thought all this hardware and stuff was black, but it's really like a dark brown. It's really cool. I think he even mentioned in his video. I was just too stupid to realize it. It looks black in video. It's hard to really show it, make it look brown versus black, but it is what it is. It could come off it that way, especially being blind like my old ass is. Knife has decent action. It feels pretty decent. The edge on it that came with it, I tried to strop up, and it didn't have enough bite, like for me, so I just did a quick edge on it. It wasn't horrible, but it's got a little more bite now to it. We'll see how it lasts, see how it does. I hadn't really done a whole lot with this because I only got it on, I think, Thursday? I can't remember for sure. So I was talking about the style of machining gun. I'm gonna come a little closer so y'all can see better probably. So it's the machining on the work. You know, all this stuff is just done way more refined. Everything about this knife is way more refined. Oh yeah, the clip too. This is Plethora threw this one in. This is a clip off of some kind of Strider or S&G ProTech or something. I can't remember what he told me it came off of. But the stock one that fit on there had an additional screw that he didn't have, and this diameter of this head is too big, so I can't even put the other one on it to even really test it out. He said the other one sucked, so he threw this one on there. Neither one of them all that great, and he even told me I'll probably end up making one. He's probably spot on. I'll probably end up making one for this eventually. But just looking at the machine work, I don't know if you can even see the pocket underneath that pocket clip, how it's pocketed milled right there. Yeah, so all that tool path, that's definitely CNC. All that stuff's CNC. There's no way it's manually done. Well, I guess it's possible, but nobody would take that path manually. I haven't really done a whole lot with this as far as like actually using it. I've cut a few things with it, but nothing to speak of to judge whether it will or won't. It's still a pretty obtuse bevel on this one thing, so you can see the edge, how wide it is. It's set, I think I just did it on the KME, and I think it's set at like 27 degrees or something. So it's to make it that wide of a secondary bevel, this shiny spot, to make it that wide at 27 degrees, you can tell how obtuse the blade itself's ground. So I'm gonna use it for a while, make my opinions of whether I want to get it reground or not. I might send this one. Mike Cuddy Cuts from Instagram still has my Crusader. He's going to do a regrind on it whenever he's comfortable. And I'm not pushing him because he's kind of relatively new to grinding. He's making his own knives and stuff now, but he's not comfortable with the hollow grind just yet. So I'm gonna let him get comfortable with that. Make sure he's good. And then if he's comfortable, once he's comfortable, if he'll accept it or not, I might try to send him this one to make it hollow ground because it's flat ground right now. At least I believe it is anyhow, best I can tell. Once again, old ass eyes, don't trust me. I'll let you know eventually. I'll actually look at it the right way. But yeah, cool knife. Obviously not on washers, it's on bearing. On washers, not on bearings. Get my shit straight in a minute here. Real cool knife. I didn't bring this one to the meetup. I did bring the Shipaka Ray and C, but most of those guys are into like the smaller Chinese knives, or I ain't gonna say just Chinese knives, but just the more normal size knives for normal people. I ain't normal apparently. At least that's what Lefty tells me. I didn't mean nothing by it. I'm just kind of fucking with people. But I like the bigger stuff. I can't help myself. Like I got big hands. I didn't realize. So Cue Ball's a good bit bigger than me. Matt's bigger than him. I think Cue Ball has slightly bigger hands than Matt. And I put my hand up against Cue Ball's, and his fingers are longer than mine, but I think mine might be meatier, and I might have almost about the same size hands that dude has. And he's a good sized dude. So I was kind of amazed myself, like, because I'm not that physically, I'm not that big. Like I'm 185 pounds. Like I'm not a huge dude. I mean, medium and large t-shirts and wear 2XL gloves, so it's kind of weird to get hands that's freaking huge on a body my size, but it is what it is. And I guess that's where some of the jokes started with from the live. I don't know, whatever. I don't mind people fucking with me, don't get me wrong, but it got weird for me. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I got an ass ton of paperwork I gotta get a hold of for the business. I take a day off. That means I gotta make up that day somehow. This particular time, it's paperwork. I've already been swimming in paperwork. I'm trying to put edges on knives, and I ain't got enough time in the day. Got to meal prep. You know how the bullshit goes. I ain't trying to drink the bite down. I'll try to do a more, what do you say? I don't know, more in depth, more valuable, more thought. I literally just sat down and started talking, so I didn't have a clue what I was gonna say before I sat down. So I'll try to think about it a little more next week and try to make a little better video. So I guess for this week, we're going to call it. Y'all be cool. See you next time. I'm out.